Hey, let's settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down.
Nice.
How's everybody doing? Welcome tonight to another edition of the Mr. Poseidon live stream. That's right, live stream only on YouTube. Here with my lovely wife. Please excuse the music. It is the intro that we have. Hi, honey.
Hi, everybody.
So how you doing? Let me lower this now for sure. There we go. How's the foot doing?
Oh, miserable.
It's miserable.
I don't want to complain. I mean, it could be worse.
How am I doing?
It's temporary. You're pretty miserable, too.
I'm very miserable. Very miserable. Very miserable.
Just saying.
Just saying. You know, I'm not
okay.
doing
It's
so
temporary.
good. It's temporary.
Not that we want to complain or anything.
Right. True.
Nobody wants to hear complaints.
I just want to go fishing, right?
Yeah.
That's all. Just go fishing once in a while.
No, you haven't been able to.
And I haven't been able to. You know? Yeah, what are you going to do?
This is all temporary. Soon,
Yeah,
you'll be
soon.
back.
Soon I'll
be
be
able
back.
to walk again.
And I won't be catching anything, just another cucumber with salt on it up the boomers. Anyway, what are you going to do? This is life. Anyway,
Hope
all right.
nice to see everybody out there.
Definitely nice to see everybody out there. Let's change
A lot of
vision
people.
right now.
Yeah, so you can see what people
Seeing
are saying.
vision.
We had a real
Yeah, Joe Albanese, D-Bar, how you doing, buddy? Rick Hernandez, what's going on? Damon from St. Louis, how you doing? Greg Pinellas, how you doing, buddy? Bill Jacob, how you doing, buddy? Bill Jacob is the Montauk Surfcasters Association president there. Pretty much runs everything. Don't worry, Bill. We'll get him next year with even a better show. Anyhow, Bronx Surfcaster, nice to see you. Turtle Cove Tackle. David Matthews, good to see you. What does it say there? Go up, go up.
Oh, he was funny. He was the one
shoveling the 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
Mr. P, I'm out shoveling the 1 millimeter of snow in his driveway.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
funny.
why he was doing.
So funny.
That's okay.
Tom Hood, how you doing? Kevin Maltozo,
Woo.
Joey. Yeah, is that you doing that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you
gotta
gotta
go
slow
down to the
down.
bottom.
I mean, I'm not that quick. Joe Albanese, president of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association. Ronnie M, how you doing? Winner of last year's Mr. Poseidon one-day challenge that we hold in Piedmont. Nice win there for you, Ronnie, last year. This year, coming up, we'll see. Beast River Fishing, Elliot, how you doing, buddy? You got to meet Greg in person. You two guys got a lot of that same fishing kind of thing going on. And when I say that, I'm talking about I wouldn't fucking fish there if my fucking life depended on it. And Greg's like, what's the matter with you? We're going fishing. This is it. This is how you catch big fish. That's how you do it. And that's a fact. That's why we got Greg on tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about big game fishing and what you have to do to make yourself better as a hunter for the big cow that we all strive so much for. And it isn't all just let's go fishing. If you get one, it's a catch of a lifetime. But other than that, Greg does it all the time. And we also have Will on from 401 Plugs. Will has gotten big. He used to collect flies and have farms of them and raise little flies as a kid. Then he got into fishing with one of them. He figured out that a fly can catch him a nice brown trout. He holds the record in in Connecticut for the biggest brown trout caught. No, I'm lying. But Greg is a great plug builder. You know what? I got to know, Will is a great plug maker, 401 Plugs. I got to know him a little personal at the Christmas parties that I've been attending with the Narragansett Club. Bruce Bain should have been on tonight. Very sorry to hear Bruce Bain is a little down. He's a little under the weather, so we wish him a lot better. But we'll be talking about that also. Going back to Will, so when I heard these guys, there was a few plug builders around the table, how they were talking and the formulas and what they find better and the tests that they run through. Guys, it isn't just going and taking a brush and slapping on some epoxy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of science that goes into things you're going to throw in the salt water and are basically going to get rammed up against rocks and all kinds of other debris. And at the same time, a big fish, hopefully she'll be able to hold on to it. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that with Will during the show, just to make a quick introduction. Honey, what else do we want to say to everybody out there? The holidays were great. Thank you to everybody for everything. We do work off donations. We're getting real close to that nonprofit thing that we want to get going. So we'll see how that comes out. And what else, honey?
Were you going to show anything over there?
Yeah, these are just some of the prizes that are ready to go for the guys.
That
this
was
is
from the
Montauk's.
challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to meet them at the shows coming up.
The winners?
And I'm just going to hand it to them instead of putting this in the mail.
Right.
So we got Montauk's Most Accurate Cast 2023. First place was Sashu David. And these are competitions that you really do not see in the total package you get when you come to the Montauk Stripe It Challenge. And on the other end, we got Montauk's Longest Cast 2023. First place, Chris Rohe. And the plugs we used for that were Outcast Laws, which is their brand over there. Outcast them all. But good stuff. I have that in, and that's for the winners. But today, let's get right to it right now. No more waiting around. Oski, how you doing? Carl Newman, Luke Chesnick, what's up, buddy? John McDowell, I see your post. NorCal Cat, there he is.
Yay.
The man. Stand by. I want to have you call in. You can speak straight to Will and make one of those prototype coming up for Halloween. A Frankenstein versus and combination of a NorCal Cat lore together, maybe. Anyhow, let's go right to the guests.
Okay.
Let's bring them in, honey.
Here they are.
Yeah, they are, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, there's Greg.
There's Greg.
There's Will.
And there's Will. And we sound like Gilligan's Island. But anyway, what's going on, guys? Good to see you again. How you doing?
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, Mr. B?
It's okay, man. It's all good. I'm so glad I got you guys on the show because for the last 3 weeks, right up to this point, between the Christmas show, then we had the New Year's Eve show, we really didn't have any guests on. Mm-hmm. And then we started this show. It's enough talking of Mr. P. I want to hear some knowledge. And guys, if you know Greg, he's at God, what is it again? I always get it wrong.
Godfather Greg _ fishing.
There you go.
Right?
We're gonna put that up on
That's
the on the bottom there.
Yeah.
Check him out because Greg is not just a striped bass hunter and put up the picture. Greg hunts. He literally hunts the big fish. I've never seen him post anything small. If I do, I'm gonna make sure I get that picture, have him sign it, and that will be
A rarity.
a rarity out there. But anyhow, all right, Greg. So what's up with the big fish, buddy? What's going on?
Yeah, still fishing for big fish. It's kind of what I focus on is looking for bigger fish. I do catch smaller fish, but I also probably skunk more than anybody out there watching this right now. It's kind of like Babe Ruth, swing for the fences. Got a lot of home runs, a lot of skunks, but yeah, I also travel a lot. Anybody that knows me, you got to follow the migration. Will could attest to, how much I travel and how much I'm actually fishing,
And I'm here to attest to Greg saying that he travels. I'm going to let everybody know. Out of everybody in this room right now, all the chatters, all the watchers, people who aren't even chatting and just watching and saying, what's up with this show? Let me tell you what's up with this show. Greg, right there, Greg, on this show, he's the only one that can build an igloo, live in it for the night, and walk out in the morning and go, I feel good. Let's go fishing. He's the only one. I don't know anybody. I'm sorry if you guys think that you can do it, but when Greg says he travels, I've seen where he travels sometimes and some of the places he stays. And I'm not talking about just any motel or hotel. That's fucking kingdom for him. We're talking about places where not the regular average Joe would want to spend the night, but Greg can do it. Greg loves this thing. He understands his youth. and he takes advantage of everything from surfboarding to skiing to. He is the man, freshwater fishing, saltwater. So let's get back to you again, Greg. I got to stop talking, but I do have you on my show, and people are not going to understand the value. So I want to ask you a question. What is your favorite time to go hunting for the big fish? Everybody has a favorite time when they say, oh, this is the moon, or this is the tide, or this is, tell me, go.
So, time of year, I've come to really love spring up here in Rhode Island, but I like to fish the sporty weather, the big waves, all that stuff is, brings all the big striper in close to shore. And I like the rain, keeps people away, big fish seem to come out also when there's not a lot of people fishing for them.
Yeah, that's a fact, Greg. Every time I see your post, I never, to anybody, not only to you, I don't go on and I'm like, oh, where'd you catch the fish? I don't do that to anybody. It's none of my business. I like feeling sometimes that when I'm out there hunting, I want to make sure that I feel it myself. So it becomes even a bigger joy that if you do land it, you can say, fuck, I was right. I was right, bro. So, go ahead, Greg.
You hit the nail on the head, and I'll tell you something, Mr. P. Like, I could tell you where I fish, and everybody on here where I fish, and the majority of you wouldn't do what it takes to get to where I have to go to. I don't rely on anybody but my own knowledge and going out there and putting the time in to find out, spots. And every year I learn more. Will turned me on to a couple this year. The one that actually got me the big fish for the tournament. So, I always, and when you're trying new stuff, that is the best feeling. When you hook into a big one and you're like, oh, they're here. My efforts paid off. Nobody else around. That's the best kind of bite to be on, yeah.
And I want to add on, when you say you won the tournament up there, you want to let everybody know what tournament that was, and I'm going to go a little beyond after that, but tell them what tournament that is.
So it's the Narragansett Surfcasters year-long biggest striped bass tournament. Greg won it with a 46.5-inch fish, I believe.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed off. I was like 5 minutes late to him catching that fish, and he was actually able to get a Surfcaster close by him to take the picture and help him because, rain with a 47-inch fish to our standards where you'd have a tape and the whole deal, like the Poseidon tournament. You need two people. You can't do it on your own and have that fish survive and swim off healthy. So it's really, you almost need to fish in partners when you're fishing for that kind of fish. And Greg did a great job. He was ecstatic. He's like, dude, where are you? I was like, I'm in the parking lot. He's like, you have no idea what just happened.
Yeah.
Daylight bite, wild. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And, you get a great fish.
Yeah.
And,
I wanted to add to that part. So basically, Charlie, rest in peace. I know he's won it a few. I know that Greg does know Charlie. I mean, look, man.
Yeah.
When you got two guys, and I basically thought of these two guys as always the best in the sport. Charlie would do everything to get in his minutes for fishing and scouting those fish and seeing what they were. Same thing like Greg does. And Narragansett in an area for two wolves or two big bears in an area that big that we think that is really isn't that big. And these bears cross paths sometimes, and it's nothing ever comes bad out of it. Both bears walk away alive, thank God. But the truth is that both these guys are terrific fishermen. Again, Charlie, rest in peace. And I know you took that honor over this year of winning that trophy, Greg. And that's a prestigious trophy, I call that, because, bros, for everybody not listening out there, listen. Sometimes in areas where you have less, sometimes it's more. It's more refined. The fishermen that come out of Rhode Island, and I'm going to add in Massachusetts, which is a huge surf fishing industry up there. I mean, the best of the best, I feel, are in Rhode Island. I've always felt like that. Long Island, too, another great surf fishing community. But sometimes where there's less, you get that cream of the crop. And there's the cream of the crop all over. You can go to Montauk, look up Bill Wetzel. I don't want to get into that again, but, Surf Rats Ball, all that stuff. Great fishermen out there. But, okay.
I mean, no doubt.
Go ahead.
These guys are from the same cloth, Charlie and Greg. I mean, both great fish. I mean,
yeah.
I'll speak to something funny on Charlie because, as you know, Mr. P, many people know me and Charlie butt heads a little bit out here over a big misunderstanding.
The two biggest bears.
Basically, right, exactly. But I actually respect him more than a lot of the people out there today because, like, the way I was brought up with surf fishing was you don't talk to people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't make friends out there. You're out there to catch bigger fish. And it's, the surf fisherman was always the one with the attitude kind of to the next guy. And it's different nowadays, which is fine. A lot of people use it kind of as like a social thing to have a bunch of friends and stuff. But me and Charlie, same mindset. We wanted bigger fish. And the whole thing happened because I call it Charlie's Rock, actually.
Yeah,
but I was at one of his spots and I have Delaware plates on my car. So Charlie came out there naturally, like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
But it's an honor to honestly win the trophy, but even to be able to just follow him up on it,
That's really nice, Greg. You couldn't have said that better, my brother. Very, very nice thing to say. Charlie is well deserved of that. If anybody doesn't know Charlie, what a fisherman. He is going to go down and always will be a legend in Rhode Island. He was a young guy when he passed away, and God bless and rest his soul and his family too, and his wife, Dina, also. Thanks for everything. I know Dina used to drive him around everywhere just because Charlie didn't want to bring his truck and then park it and then have people stop in each, you know what I'm talking about, Greg. You know, they stop at each corner and they're like, okay, Charlie's truck is there. Let's go fishing over there. So for him to end that, he would get his wife to drive him there, drop him off, and he would say, come pick me up in an hour. Scout the area, do his fishing. Now when people look down, they're like, well, he's not down here. But meanwhile, he might have been fishing down there. Greg knows the game. He's been down there fishing together with him a while. Go ahead, Ro.
We had Rodrigo here saying, Greg, you need to tell funny stuff about fishing with Will.
Uh-huh.
Also, can you describe...
Rodrigo, relax.
Hold on. Finish up.
Wait, and
also,
he goes... Also, can you describe how to read a good sweep once you get to a spot?
There you go.
So that's Rodrigo for you.
Yeah, so I could tell you a million funny stories about fishing with Will here. Will is an awesome fisherman, and who I decide, and Rod actually, who asked that question, fishes with us often. He's an amazing fisherman too. But first, I'll answer the sweep question because like that's something that I look for when I'm out fishing at any new spot, at any spot, is a hard sweep. If you can find a hard, and what a sweep is obviously is where you're casting, water moving fast left to right. And I always at a new spot, I like to use a plug, like either a metal lip or an SP minnow or something, just so I can cast out and reel it back and see where the water's moving. So basically, you're not going to always see a lot when you get to a spot how the water's moving, but a SP minnow or a good swimming plug like that will tell you quickly. And then if I get a hard sweep and I find sweeping water, then I might quickly put on a darter or something like that, put on a darter or a jig. So that's to answer that question.
There you go. Nice. Will, I see you hanging out back there. How is the plug building going?
Plug building's good, man. I just finished up. I called it quits from spinning for the Narragansett show.
Sure.
A couple nights ago. It's a grind, you know how it is. But
of course.
I'll give our club a plug here. I'm on the board of the Gansett Club with Bruce.
Bruce.
It's a bummer we couldn't make it tonight, but I'll try my best to fill his role. Big shoes to fill.
He should be fine. He should be fine. Hopefully by Saturday,
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully. Because if not, who knows? He does a lot in the club, you know?
Yeah.
So January 13th, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., that's a show. It's an $8 entry. That goes right to the club where we use that money to benefit, you know, Veterans Fishing Day, Kids Fishing Day.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce has gone over this on your show many times. We donate to tons of different organizations. So we're going to have like, I don't know, 40 different vendors. 35 of them are probably plug builders. We're going to have like, you know, huge names there. We're going to have, you know, Gremlin, Solstice, SC Customs. He's a great gentleman. He makes some sick darters. We're going to have Wicked Schoolie. My buddy Lance, he's a really good plug builder. He's from the club. You know, Vinny's Customs, obviously, you know Vinny.
Oh, Vinny's dynamite.
Yeah, Vinny's the man. We're going to have Zinger, RB.
Yep.
RB has some sick stuff.
Sick stuff. Combined with Zinger, they make that. I've thrown that lure quite a few times. Look, let's be honest. With that one, you got to have a bit of a broomstick to throw that baby out.
Yeah.
You can do your thing. You can swing it with the St. Croix rod, but you swing it hard enough, you might snap the tip on that one. But
yeah, some of the guys testing that plug. I remember, you know, Zinger and RB telling me, like, yeah, they were fishing some big waters with some heavy shit, but they were catching 50-pound fish on that.
Yeah,
plug.
I believe it. I believe it.
They did it good, man. They did good. We're going to have Stevie Payne with some Uncle Fish bucktails, and obviously Luke from Z-Belts. He's the man. Luke's been a member for years. I actually got a rod from Luke recently.
Yeah, he's actually.
And I love it, man. He's coming out with some cool stuff. So
I'll talk a little bit on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Z-Belts.
A
lot of people on the show probably use his belts or bags. I helped Luke actually test out the rods, and I'm using one too. It's a Striker blank, custom built by Glenn, GW Custom.
Yeah, GW, or I think Luke might make some too.
Yeah, mine's Luke.
They're doing both, yeah.
And they're coming out this year, and he's got a lot of big things in store for later down the road too. So look out for all that.
Very nice. That is cool. I'd like to know. So far, have you gotten your hands on it to start testing, Greg, or not yet?
Oh,
yeah. So when so I'll tell you a story about when he was testing the rods, because Luke is somebody who I fish with and a good friend of ours, and in the club also. And this was like the beginning of last year. I knew he was trying out some different blanks. He ordered some from Lamiglass, ODM, got some specs that he liked, and then he found Striker, who, if you haven't heard of Striker, they've been around forever on the West Coast, big in like salmon fishing. They make a beautiful blank. And so he ordered 2 or 3 of them and built them for himself.
Nice.
And the first night out was last May, right after I caught the big fish for the tournament. His first cast with that Striker custom that he built himself was the big fish he got this year, which was actually bigger than mine. He just didn't record it for the tournament. But a monster.
He was alone, yeah.
48, 49 incher. Easily could have been 50 pounds. Go to Z-Belt Instagram. It's right on there. But yeah, that was his first cast with his custom rod and the Striker. So within the first cast, he tested it on a 50-pounder in Boulder Fields. And then me and him, he gave me one of the blanks that he was using, and we fished them very hard all throughout the year last year. And I'm still using the one he gave me, back last June. It's a moderate action rod, which is actually really nice, and now I'm a big fan of that too. But yeah, check him out at any of the shows. Narragansett show, he's going to have a couple of the rods, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're real reasonably priced too. You can't get a custom rod anywhere else for what he's charging. I don't want to speak on that exactly it is, because I don't know, but it's cheaper than getting a rod built yourself by somebody.
All right, read that off, honey. Read that off. You want to read that?
Church?
Yeah.
Churchwood is asking, is 24/7 Lures going to be at the Saturday show?
I don't know.
I don't think he's on the list this year. He's awesome though.
Elliot is a great dude. I'm trying to think here. I don't see him on the list.
All right.
His needlefish are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a great level 6.
I mean, all his lures are good, but
No, I don't see him on the list.
Okay.
Maybe it's a
All right.
scheduling conflict with him. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's got
That's
some
all right.
kiddos and stuff that he,
Still, guys, don't be distracted if one of the, and I could say a very good plug builder himself. I'm going to tell you this. Still, you're going to have some of the best, if not the best, plug builders there at the show. Guys, it's not like a show where you're going to walk around in a hotel. You're going to be like, you better get in there quick. It's a nice, tight area. It's perfect for the amount of people. We need the heat in that place, God forbid, because every year I've been in there, it's been a freaking cold time. But once you get the people coming in, it warms up just right, and it fucking the best of the best are there. Trust me. I'm walking around. I'm doing my also buying for the giveaways for you guys. I love these shows. So
I was gonna say you've done some excellent raffles that like really stir the pot.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing another Van Stall, and since Z Belt is gonna be there, I have to get in touch with Luke. As a matter of fact, if anybody knows Luke right now, and you can get in touch with him right now,
Z-Belt?
ask him that Mr. P is asking or begging. Plus, he'll buy him a cup of coffee when I get to Rhode Island to give a call in right now, because I just want to get something.
I'll text him right now for you.
Perfect, man. Tell him to tell him to give me a call on my cell. He has it, and we'll pop on together for a quick chat, all three of you guys. But anyhow, in the meantime,
what is this question
in the meantime,
here? What is the rod weighed at?
William Helmet.
So the rod that I have, and I think Greg has, is 1-6. But he makes a canal rod also. He calls this one the I want to say beach and boulders, the 1-6. So beaches, boulder fields. The other one's like a jetty canal style. So you're fishing either a breachway or a canal with it. It's going to be a 2 to 8, 2 to 9 maybe.
Right.
I mean, you could probably throw a frickin' 12 ounce with it. It's fine. You know what I mean? You can throw a chunk of rubber out. The thing, it's still going to be fine. You know.
Can I tell you something about these striker rods?
Yeah, I do. I want to know. Guys, are you listening? Listen good. Go ahead, guy.
Yeah, it being a moderate action rod, it has a lot of the flex up in the tip of the rod, right? So what I noticed and Luke noticed is that it's like, say you're fishing like a soft plastic and you get hit on slack line. It doesn't take much for you to pull up and get that line tight. So in other words, the hookup ratio, like it feels like you don't have to really set the hook as hard. It feels like it picks up that slack line really quick because all that flex is up in the top of the rod. And I feel like that's huge with it. And also, once you can get comfortable casting a moderate action, you don't have to use as much power.
It took me a little bit.
Yeah, you just kind of got to get the right motion down. And once you do, that thing whiplashes and casts.
Right.
I love the way it casts too. So.
And people don't realize, even guys like me, like I have a Century Northeastern. I'm telling you guys, it's big. But people say, how are you doing that? Like I can put a 3/4 ounce bucktail on there, and I'll cast it. And if you know how to throw it right, if you know your rod, because everything is, if you're going to start casting consistently, you're not going to do the same cast on a broomstick rod versus a rod that's like a fly rod. It's two different casts. And your body's going to precisely get to that point where you can get it right every single time. And you know how to use that rod. When you say, oh, you get that whipping action, you can get that whipping action, like I said, with a broomstick if you know how to throw it right. And I do it. And I throw it out, and people are amazed sometimes. But I do have rods. I have my St. Croix rods. I have 3/4 ounce to 4 ounce. I have a 3/4 ounce to 2 ounce. I have really small size rods, but they're great rods because they can handle the big fish. I love the parabolic, extension that you get from beginning to end. A lot of people say, well, what's the difference? The difference is, and this is a fact, I grew up buying Shakespeare rods and all that good stuff. But I remember even as a young kid, after 10 bluefish, 15 bluefish, and at that time we were popping bluefish, 20 pounders like they were nothing back in the day. And you'd sit on the beach, and after your 10th fish, you'd be like, oh, your lower back. When you have a rod that's parabolic, you put it under your crouch over there. I mean, it's pretty much like you're sitting on a boat, and you can just use just the right amount of tension where it's not really just all your arm doing the work. It is. but you still have it nice and balanced versus a rod that points only at the top and you're using your lower back to work that rod that's not parabolic. So when you buy your rods, you got to have the guy pull it down hard and pull back and see how where that rod's giving the most. You got to know. So, I mean, I'm not a pro, but go ahead, Greg.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's what you'll see us doing over at the Z-Belt table at Narragansett show, is having people hold those rods that he built with Striker, and he's going to pull down on the tip of it as hard as he can so you can get a good feel for it. It's going to be Z-Belt, Zinger baits, and 401 plugs.
We're going to be near each other.
Yeah, we're going to get all the tables like close to each other so we can
answer
all your questions.
I can't wait. I'm very, very, very excited
no
about
one be
this.
shy either. Like if you're new to fishing, this is the perfect show to go to.
Right.
You're gonna have guys that are in the club that have tables selling old equipment, used stuff. Come by, talk fishing. Like you're always welcome at this club.
I know last year's buddy of mine bought a VS 200 American, basically brand new, for $400. So
there's some crazy deals. Yeah.
And in this show, you're gonna have one of those X2 series reels.
That's right.
For $5 a pop, man, which is nothing. And we're good people, me and my wife. We always make our donation to Narragansett, including this year to the club, for what they've done for me. You boys out there are phenomenal. That's why I love promoting you guys. Now listen, you tell Lance of Wicked Lures. Let me tell you one thing about Lance now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say two things. Number one, when I saw his plugs, he truly is an artist, this guy. And when I tell you an artist, he's not just making dots. And I'm not making fun of you, Will, at all or anything. Because when you buy your plug, you're getting precision-made product. But when Wicked draws his stuff, he does some space stuff on his things and stuff like that. I mean, it's really, really beautiful. I have to tell you, I loved it. He was supposed to be on my show. I tried to get in touch with him. I might have had the wrong number. These things happen, and I still want him on my show. It's okay, because I really want to tell everybody that when it comes to the artistry, there are some guys that do it one way and some guys that do it this way. And I like it this way. But because I like it this way doesn't mean everybody should. You should, you idiots. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't mean because I like it, everybody should like it. It's what you like. Remember, those lures that we're all shopping for, you're attracted to it first. Now, do you have the area where you're going to use that plug? Is it going to be the right time? Blah, blah, blah. It's all up to you. It's the grind, the grind, the grind, the grind. And you got to know a little bit about how to hunt the big fish. And I want to get back to that with Greg again. Greg, we told a few good stories there, and I like them. We talked about also our friend Luke with Z-Belt product, which is the bags that he makes, and the belt, which I also own and I also use. I like using both. I like gear up stuff too, guys. I like that belt too. I'm not a very big, tall guy. Sometimes I feel if I'm going to carry heavier stuff for myself, I might use that belt or I might use this belt. And I'm not putting up any names because I kind of like them both, and that's the way I am.
I use a gear up bag myself.
Yeah. That's man.
I got a couple different setups, and they all have different purposes.
That's right. And being a surf fisherman, that's the great thing about it, is that because you're buying just from one plug builder doesn't mean you're just going to buy from him. I want an array of product from everybody, especially 401 plugs. If we can get some good Wicked stuff over there too, I like to do. And I know, Greg, every once in a while, I know you're such a freaking... You go, and when I say it in this manner, it's all good. You get in everywhere. I mean, not only are you fishing, right, and whether you're using Joe Bag's stuff or 401 plugs, you're catching fish with it. And then all of a sudden there's an episode or two where you're carving stuff yourself, literally carving. You're not even using the freaking machine. You're just carving your own stuff, and you're showing yourself catching fish. Now, I want to know the truth. Does Will work with you, and do you have like 3 cutouts of 3 different size stripers, and you're consistently taking pictures with this? Is this what's really going on?
Cutouts.
Because I got to know, man. You're amazing, Greg.
I'll give you the secret right now.
Yeah, tell me.
I'll give everybody on the show the secret to catching big fish is to have a line in the water, because everybody will attest to. I fish a lot more than anybody I know, and if you fish as much as me, then you probably got a problem too. But you know, and I think that's all it is. It's just, you know, you got to put yourself in the position to catch a lot of big fish, and once you find where they're at, then you can kind of, you know, focus on that and stay on it for a while. Network with good people, you know, a small group of good people.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, this dude's like fishing 4 different bites at 4 different spots where he's found bait over that week. And he's like, I'm gonna scope here, you scope there. Bing, bang, boom. It's like, then you put the whole thing together. I mean, you keep a small circle. You got three or four guys you fish with. Doesn't mean you're fishing every night together. It means you're fishing together.
Right.
But miles apart. You know, and
look at it like kind of a tactical situation, kind of like,
I mean, like Rodrigo there, like, I mean,
he's one of the guys,
he's been supporting me ever since I built plugs. I mean, and the dude's a great fisherman.
Yeah,
he called me up randomly. He's like, "Hey, your needle's killing it at the spot." We go there, and you know, it was a great bite for a few nights, and then it turned out to be a great bite for times I never thought it would be a great night.
Yeah,
like you know, you find those things happenstance almost. But you got to be out there, literally. I mean, he's a different animal. I don't.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I'm also, you know, I don't have any kids. I'm a single guy. I moved up here to Rhode Island to fish specifically. So like, I get it. Not everybody can fish that much. So like, I don't think I'm doing anything special. It's just got more hours out there. You know?
And Greg, I've been waiting to cut in, but you just beat me to the punch again. Is there anything I'm going to be in front of you on? But the thing I wanted to say is that I know Will is married, happily married, great wife. If we can find women that take our shit, Will, we're freaking in. And I got a good one, you know, Greg.
Love you, honey.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all set. Now, I want to know something, Greg. Look at Greg there. He's got those little dimples when he smiles. He's got the clock. He's got the clock cable. Look, man, look at this guy. I'm like, where are you finding the time for all these women?
Clark Gable is?
I mean, you're single, Greg. I know fishing is there and that's your hobby. But then you have your sex life, so that's what I want to know, you know?
No,
I mean, the fact's a fact here. I'm not, you know.
It sounds like, are you interested?
How do you think he gets all his fishing spots?
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
Honestly, I have been dating somebody recently.
Okay, very nice, man. I like to hear that.
All right.
I know, because you don't bring none of that out ever. No women, it's just striped bass. And then you start thinking, maybe it's just his girlfriend in a suit and a striped bass, and she's wiggling while he's holding her. You know? But anyway, no, I get it, Will. You're a good guy. Also, to Greg himself, good guy.
Mr. P, Luke said you could call in, but it'd be a couple minutes. Maybe we'll catch him before the end of the show.
Absolutely. I'll stick around
Greg
for Luke.
like cologne coming over here tonight. I go, Greg, what do you put some cologne on, dude? He goes, I'm actually picking up my girlfriend after this.
Nice.
It's like, good for you, Greg.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. He's picking up his girl later.
That's it, man.
That's it. Balance.
That's a balance. Exactly.
You got it.
Balance.
You got it.
Yeah, I have a balance here, too. I follow what she says and everything, and every once in a while I'm allowed to throw her off the roof, and it works out just great. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, you know? Nah, I'm just kidding. I love you, honey. You know that. I love my wife. Anyway, I'm very lucky. Sometimes everything doesn't work out in life. You know, you have your jobs and everything, and you think you're doing the right thing, but sometimes you got to settle back and think about what you have, and sometimes you could just screw it up in a jiffy, and I never want to see that upon anybody. So just always think about what you're doing in life, and make sure that everything is on target for you and your families to be always first, always.
We have a nice comment from Elizabeth McDowell. Says she caught her biggest striper on the block in October on a 401 white darter. My biggest spring bass was with a blue silver demon darter by NorCal Cat. So there you go.
NorCal Cat and 401 plugs.
Very nice.
These are the bears that we're talking about that don't want to cross paths at a show. These are the guys. NorCal Cat.
NorCal makes some
Are
good
you
stuff.
kidding me, man? That guy runs the West Coast out there. But here's a beautiful plug that Will had built for me way back in the day. He gave me the. Does anybody know what this is?
That?
You know what that is right there?
Do I know? No.
Come on, Grateful Dead.
Oh, nice.
The Grateful
Hey,
Dead.
Mr. P, what number should Luke call?
He could call my regular number on my phone.
Yeah, just the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Poseidon, we do
Oh, look
401.
at that.
I get a little weird down in the plug shop sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll throw some bolts on random plugs.
That's
And
awesome,
that's what,
though.
When they come around the plug show, I'm like, hey, this guy's cool. He wants a bolt plug,
That's right. As long as they don't ask you to trim it into a, pee-pee looking thing, then it's cool. Everything is cool. I'll put the bolt thing on for you, but that under one circumstance.
Oh,
No trimmings there, buddy.
So
Very
we're
good.
waiting for-
Yeah.
What is this? Where is it? $200 NorCal Cat plugs. Wormway.
Yeah, well, they're not $200.
No, mine are.
Yeah, there you go. Will is like his are.
Oh.
But no. NorCal Cat's got some great prizes, and if you follow him, he's got those fire sales where if you're on your cat with him, then definitely you'll get some prizes where you don't think that you would have had. So it all adds up, and you're getting a good product from the guy too, man. Just remember that.
Andrea Chartier is saying, Greg, if you take me fishing, I'll bring you snacks.
There you go.
I don't know if you know who
She's
Andrea
actually
is.
in the club.
There you go.
She goes fishing a lot, and it's funny because she asks me to go fishing all the time. But I don't think she's going to be swimming out to rocks with me and stuff. So
Oh, yeah,
how
that's
that will work.
hardcore.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
honey,
hardcore.
on my
And
phone,
awesome. Yeah.
is anybody calling?
No, not yet.
Just check the messages and go to Bruce's message about the question I had to ask.
Okay.
You see Bruce here?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not
you
that
wanna
one.
see-
That's the porno one. The other one.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So here's where Bruce, he had a fever, and what is it? Are you sure? Because I don't see.
Go back on it, and he says, make sure you talk about the Narragansett something. It's not on there. I
So
forgot.
I think Montauk Surfcaster, their association, they're going to be at our show. They're going to have some cool swag, some cool plugs. We did a kind of a collaboration with MSA.
Yes.
The Point to Point shirt, which is Montauk Point and
I'm getting mine.
White. Yeah, sweet man. Yeah, I bought a couple of them, and they're great shirts. They're cool. And they go to good cause. We keep that in our coffers for when we need to, buy a setup for someone, or if we want to donate somewhere. It's
Yeah, I hope those Montauk Surfcasters at that show over there, their apparel was awesome. I bought one of their long sleeve shirts. I had the Montauk Surfcasters Association Van Stall on the back.
Nice.
I must have spent like a couple $100 over there just on like the t-shirts they had.
Yeah, but you know
Which was
what?
cool.
You know what, Greg? Though you're buying some of the, let's just say, the coolest stuff on the market, and that's if you're a surfcaster, you understand what you're wearing, and I respect that, bro, because I'm the same way. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I was gonna say something. Go ahead, honey.
We have Luke on the line.
All right, let's get Luke.
There we go. Luke, ahead.
Luke, are you there?
Hey. Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Hey, Luke. So we were talking about you tonight, starting with your sweatshirt. I feel bad I don't have it on now. If I knew this was going to pan it out. I have that same sweatshirt, which I love, probably one of the top quality stuff on the market, which is consistent to your name, Z-Belts. And we were talking about...
Yeah, they're Carhartt. I can't take all the credit.
Yeah, I know.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. But what we were talking about were your new thing that you've been really into right now, and not leaning away from your bags or anything. Still, some of the best merchandise you'd like to have on your side as a surf fisherman. But we were talking about your rods, and Greg being one of the testers. I mean, I make that official because he's a fisherman that fishes all kinds of conditions. And going back to you and your rods, you want to tell us a little bit about your new product that I know you're very excited to put out?
Yeah, so coming up in this spring, I'm going to have 2 moderate options available. The first one's going to be a 10.5-foot 50-50 split, 1 to 6 ounce rated spinning rod, obviously. And the other one's going to be an 11-foot as well, 2 pieces, 50-50 split. That's going to be 2 to 8 ounces. So my thought process is, and kind of always has been, if I could have 2 rods that I could more or less do everything with in New England, I would have a canal and jetty style heavier 2 to 8 rod, and then a lighter 1 to 6 for beaches and boulders, that sort of thing. So that's what I have pretty much all set up, ready to go. Going to have stock and availability of those in spring. And then I'm also working on 2 fast action offerings, just so, some guys like moderate rods, some like faster rods. So I want to, have something for everybody. So they're going to be USA made. So the blanks are made in Oregon by Stryker. I'm going to use Fuji components on everything because that's what I've always used and that's what I like. And then they're going to be wrapped here in New England by myself and a network of other custom builders. So really excited about it. It's going to go right in line with the rest of my offerings, which is, you can't really beat the price on it and the quality. So that's what I'm going for.
Nice.
One thing you didn't mention, so I know you said you're going to have you and a quality team working behind you of wrapping these poles and the Fuji hoops and all that, but I want to know, if somebody wants a custom piece, can they call you direct and say, hey, Luke, I would like this. Can you do this?
So to start, I have, I did a custom one for Will. I did a custom one for Will's buddy. I can deviate from my standard offering. Obviously there'll be a charge associated with that.
Of course.
I'm more interested in, doing production custom, so to speak. So, my design, my colors, it's, the Z-Rod is going to be under Z-Belt. So it's really, my stuff for what, a fraction of what you would have to pay to get a custom rod built with, USA components wrapped here in the U.S.
And I have to tell you, Luke, that I know that no matter what you're making, what you're doing, what you talk about, you really mean it. And not because you just mean it, because I've used your stuff and I say, hey, the guy's stuff is good. He's innovative. He came up with this 2-2 bag. And that just shot out of heck because it wasn't like every other 2-2 bag. And I really got my enjoyment out of that. And it's become one of my main tools I use when I go out into different areas, because I have 2 different bags that I have the same as the 2-2 bag as yours, and I switch. Plus, with my other bags, I have a whole array of bags that I use for different situations. So I know that when you're making a product, and I'm not just, saying, hey, this and that, Luke knows the game, and Luke knows that precision is what gets you that game. And when I say precision, the guy cares about the product. I can't wait, to be honest. I'm not going to have anything custom made. When it comes time for Luke to have his stuff and it's fully there on the market, I'm definitely going to try something new that is most fun when it's new. So go ahead. Who wants to say anything?
Mr.
Just
B,
put in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. And I hate saying it to Luke because Luke's somebody I fish with and we're very competitive. But to him as a builder, like him as a fisherman, I can attest to him as a fisherman. Like I said, I had the biggest fish in the club this year that was recorded. He caught one that was likely a little bit bigger. Doesn't matter. Either way, he goes out and he fishes alone a lot also, same way I do. And but just puts in the time. Yeah. And people don't realize the fish that this dude catches, because he doesn't post anything. He's not big on that, whole hype. But I think that you see a trend in good products is that the people making them are good fishermen, and that's I feel like if you know the person personally as a fisherman, they're a really good fisherman, they probably make a good product. So yeah, Luke is a great builder. Everything's quality if you've ever used any of his stuff, but it comes from first him being a good fisherman.
Nice. It's like a Surfcaster. He made it because he needed it. Luke's told me stories how he made his belt. Yeah. That's why he made it. necessity.
That's it. Necessity.
We do have a question
you, guys.
from Mario for
Go ahead.
Luke.
Go ahead, Mario.
Mario Gandini was asking,
Here we go, Mario. What do you got?
ask Luke why the thought process on the 50-50 split instead of the 70-30 split.
Yeah.
Fits in your car.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fits in your car.
Fits in your car.
So, I've been getting this question a couple of times. More than the 70-30 split question, I've been getting, why aren't you doing one pieces? I could do 70-30s, I could do one pieces, but I fished both. I fished a 70-30 for years and years. I fished an 11-foot one piece for years and years. And honestly, with these new 50-50s I've been using, I like them better. That's the only answer. A lot of the stuff I do is totally selfish because in the back of my mind, I know not only am I going to be providing, quality rods, bags, belts, you name it to people, but I'm also going to have a never-ending inventory at my disposal to play with. So the 50-50s for me have been working fantastic. I personally don't feel much of a difference in action comparing it to my long history of fishing a 1321 M&L, and then I fished a TFO. I fished a bunch of different rods for extended periods of time, and I feel as though the 50-50s are giving me kind of the best of both worlds. I'm not having my top guide twist on me, which was probably my biggest complaint for the 70-30s. And I have some one-piece rods, and if there is ever a circumstance when I'm swimming over my head, I'm going to use an 11-foot one-piece to feel my way. But so if anything, I'll do a one-piece before I do a 70-30. I was never, I fished a 70-30 for years, and it was never my favorite rod breakdown, I guess is why I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's it, man. Listen, everybody will always have their preferences, but sometimes it's nice to make a change and just see what it's like on that end of the spectrum. And I'm one of those guys that enjoys new, and I don't think.
Yeah, and to anyone that,
yeah,
what I say to everybody, and I really want them to come see me at the shows this year. I'm going to do my damnedest to have one of every rod that I'm offering in stock at the show, because you can feel on it. You can feel it, and I'll tell you what, 50-50 or not, the more people I put in their hands and put a bend on them, the more people that walk away from the table with the rod. It's been kind of cool. So you just got to be open-minded, pick up the blank and give it a feel and see what you think about it before you think maybe it's not the best split.
Super.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll be seeing you then.
We're going to be seeing Luke. We'll be there also. We'll have a little booth set up there. We'll be doing our live from the show. I'm going to be bothering Luke again. Luke will say to me, Eric, this is the 8th time. Luke, we got to do this.
It's all right. I got things. I got some more cats for you to pull out of some bags. So, you guys are going to be I know the boys will be at the Gansett show. You guys are doing that, or you're talking about the journal show?
Nah, we'll be at the Gansett show also.
Yeah, okay, so I'll see you on Saturday then.
And I want you to, I'm going to come by and purchase from you, Luke, if you got a 3 or a 2 bag, whichever one you want to do, and a belt from you, because I'm going to add that into the Van Stol giveaway as a starter package. What a starter package, though, huh?
What a starter package is right. Fantastic.
Right there,
we'll talk about it. That's no problem.
Yeah. So I'll see you definitely at the show. I'll be there bright and early. I can't wait. My wife will be there in a wheelchair. We'll be lugging her around, but she'll be there with me. She wants to come. So,
oh, God.
Yeah, it is what it is. So let's get back to
Thanks, Luke.
Luke, really quick with you. Again, you want to tell everybody about the show you're going to be at again? I don't mind you saying it.
Yeah, so I'll be at the Narragansett show this coming Saturday. I'll be at the Surfcasters Journal show this coming Sunday. Yeah. And then after that, I know for sure I'm doing the Berkeley show down in Jersey. I know I'm doing the New Jersey Expo, like the big fishing show. I think it's is it Edison or Edson?
I think it's Edison. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's the big one, the convention. So I'm doing that. Not sure about RZA yet. I think those are the only ones. And then I'll do the the surf day
Yeah,
at the college with the Jersey Shore Surfcasters,
definitely.
and there'll be more, I'm sure. That's all I know
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
I got to tell you, Luke, that that Rissa show is really is, and I'm going to tell you, it's a fun show. I have the full get up to have everything there, but it's a little beyond the price point this year. Plus, I was out of work 14 weeks, so I got hit kind of hard. Other than that, I love that Rissa show. It's a great show, party show, because it's a couple of days. It isn't just one day.
Yeah, I'm on the. We'll see what happens. I've been talking to the guy Scott there.
Good.
So we'll see. I've been. I'm playing hardball with him. I'm
There
not
you
going to
go.
let up.
Hardball's
So we'll
always a
see.
good
If I don't
thing.
get my way, I won't go.
That's it. And you know what? If I'm running one of these shows, there isn't a better character that I would want on my show than Z-Belts, period, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
No doubt. All right,
Great.
so
Thanks for calling in.
thank you for calling
Appreciate it.
in.
Have a good night, boys. Talk to
Thank you, buddy.
Good night.
Thank you, man.
Bye,
Thank you.
Luke.
All right, so back to the boys over here. Let's get them on.
Okay.
Got them on. So, Greg, going back to you, man, let's talk a little bit more about, before we end the show. I know it's,
Articles.
but what's that?
He writes articles for the.
That's what I was going to
magazine.
ask him right now. So
Before
you
we
were telling
forget.
us that you write articles for the magazine, correct? So
Go ahead.
you want to get more into detail about that? What magazine,
Yeah, so
first off?
I've got I've had 3 or 4 published so far. One coming out in February, I think. And it's just, it's to be a good. So Dave Anderson, the chief editor of the Fisherman magazine, is kind of like he's a friend of mine, kind of somebody I look to as a mentor.
Yeah.
And I got to give him a lot of credit because I have the knowledge, but I'm not in any way, a writer or but it takes somebody who knows the fishing side of it. But yeah, I enjoy doing it. I have something coming out in February about how, good surfcasters are good at putting themselves in positions to get lucky, because everybody has, heard the question, it isn't fishing all dependent on luck? That question used to bother me, but now I'm like, yeah, it kind of is, but I'm really good at getting lucky, so that's kind of what that article's about. But yeah, it's something I enjoy doing. I hope you guys enjoy reading them.
Yeah, that is nice, Greg. It's nice that. So where'd you go to college, Greg?
I went to Wesley College and University of Delaware.
Yeah, because I know by the way you write, sometimes, you can tell, not sometimes, coming from a guy who's basically got a year of college under his belt and quit because he thought it was too cool. But I didn't do bad in my life. I went back to college in a way, got my certificates to do what I do today and my licenses that I have to do what I do today. But other than that, going back to you guys and
He has nice
ahead.
writing skills, is what you're trying to say.
That's what I want to say is that you have nice writing skills, man. I like that. It's really nice.
Thank you. So it's something I'm new at, but I'm working on it. So
You do
like I
pretty
said,
good.
I hope that I continue to improve. I have good teachers out there. So
Yeah, you should be on, they got the Surfcasters Journal. They're coming up with a new iPod now, a new iPodcast.
Podcast.
I'd like to have that guy on my show who's pretty much going to be running things over there. I know it's Zeno's brand and all that. I don't know any details, so I'm not going to say anything. I'll still refer to it as Zeno's brand until we're taught differently. But other than that, you should be on that show too because they would love to have a guy like you. Listen, my show is about understanding the surf fisherman, and what do I mean by that? It isn't all just very technical. I go on some of these iPod podcasts, and for me, it's a little like, I don't. But when you add a little spunk into a little fun, and the pineapple gets introduced, wow, things get a little nice and sunshiny after that. But other than that, I like to be out there, and I like to hear the stories, as you told us about Will and Greg. The one I want to hear is how Will found out, Greg, that you wear red through the loom. That's what I want to know. That's the good stuff running around the internet right now, you know?
Not really.
Sure.
That's a story for your premium channel.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. I had a guy call me up, and he said, listen, Mr. P, I like your show. So we charge a little product here where it's basically a donation to my channel, and it's $2.99 a month. I want everybody to understand that YouTube takes their share. Very well worth it. None of these things would be happening with the little stars. Everybody joined the first week, and some of my most best members. Even Ed Point, he came on. I love him. He's another great plug building bag maker. Great priced, just superb stuff. But getting back to what I was saying is that the donation that we charge, we end up getting $2 a person, and then they pay you after that. It's $1.50 a person. So it's not like we're making money, but it is nice to see that the love that I have from all these people, joining the channel, which is helping us in every little bit. But again, what were we saying, honey? Before I started all this blabbing stuff about the blue stars and all that kind of stuff.
What else? Well, Greg, anything more on his on what you write about?
I want to know a little bit
about
more.
The show.
One thing before we get to Will again. I'm going to get back to Will for sure because I got a question for him. But Greg, the big fish, industry as far as catching it from the surf. People have to understand the surf is probably the hardest place you can catch a fish, but we do it. Whether when the weather's bad, boats don't go out there. And I'm not putting anybody freaking down who's got a boat. I love getting on the boat. When I go to Florida, in order to get those bigger fish, I got to get on a boat and go 90 miles out. But I'm out there fishing, lots of fun, and I enjoy it. So, being a surf fisherman, it's very difficult to catch them from the surf. It takes an elite. Listen to me. We talk about the grind, and I'm out here, I'm doing the grind. Yeah, but you went once in 2 months. Do the grind every day. Every day. It's not like Greg catches a fish every time he goes out. We all know that is not possible. Well, I'm not going to ask that question to him, but we all know that's not possible. And the more the time that you put in and you understand the waters that you're fishing, Charlie always used to say, again, rest in peace, Charlie. Charlie said, learn your waters first. Learn when are the fish going to hit at that tide, at that moon. Hey, it just rained yesterday. What does that mean? Let me go fishing today because it's always the day after that big rainfall, we get big amount of fish. But learn your areas first, and then combined with the grind, you'll be taking some nice pictures like Greg too. But remember, this is an elite. I'm going to say it again, elite grind. I've been on those elite grinds. I've been to Montauk where I slept in my car back in the day, and I used to do 5 days straight in a car. And at that time, no shower, nothing. Living there, buying stuff at fast foods at 7-Eleven down there. So these are elite grinds that spend lots of time fishing. And in the end, you'll be a winner too, because when you finally get it, it's an elite feeling. Greg, can you emphasize on that a little?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you briefly about how I ended up in Rhode Island. When COVID happened, and the lockdown happened, I quit my job. I had some money saved up. I had a pickup truck and a cot, and I wanted to follow the striper migration. So I went to Montauk actually first.
Wow.
And my truck broke down at Montauk, but I was enjoying myself. So I was there for a couple months during the summer, just fishing, hanging out in my truck. Then Mike Benzinger of Zinger Baits called me and said he was on a good bite in Rhode Island. And I said, I guess it's about time to get my truck figured out and get out of here. So I'm going to go to Rhode Island. So I got to get towed from Montauk, which wasn't easy or inexpensive. But I got that figured out. And then I drove to Rhode Island. The first night in Rhode Island, I met Will at a spot, and I met my other buddy who I still fish with, Brian Testa, at a spot. And Brian actually, I walked up and Brian was reeling in a 35-pounder, and I was in my truck. It had now been like a couple months that I've been away from home. Yeah. But I decided to stay in Rhode Island for the fall run, and things started kind of getting cold. But I was like, I want to stay in Rhode Island, so linked up with Will, who rented me a little camper, and I lived on a gypsy farm in the woods for the winter, and did like lumber tree work. And long story short is now I live walking distance from my favorite surf spot in Narragansett.
Wow.
And all for that feeling that you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Man.
And I couldn't be happier where I am right now, and all because of Striper, and just doing what I love to do.
You're the man, Greg. Greg, I mean, I could sit here all night with you and can go from conversation to conversation. I know you've been on the show. I think this might be the third time, because if you remember, you were on the show with Brian Testa together here one night.
Oh, that was a while ago, yeah.
And that was when we had like 15, 20 listeners, dude.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like I'm killing the internet right now, but heck, man, I got some of the best surfcasters out.
That guy is a beast. Brian Testa is a beast.
Yeah,
That's
he is.
You should pick his brain, get him back on.
I speak to him every once in a while. I just spoke to him again. I think it was less than a month ago. He texted me. Really nice guy. And I am going to get in touch with him again. Maybe we can all do a fishing trip together. And hopefully it won't be like Charlie when we say, yeah, all right, come fishing with me. And then you're in some guy's pool in his backyard fishing, and you're looking at Charlie, and you're like, Charlie, are we going to just leave your rod in there? Don't worry about it. And you're not going to catch any fish there, because Charlie was like that. He was very protective of Narragansett, and I don't mean that in a bad way in any way. When you have an area of that size, and to us, it'll seem vast. But to these guys, they know every single corner, every single spot. They know when is the best time to go fishing. And it isn't just when. They're going to go to that spot, and they're going to say, all right, I remember last year. Let's try this year, and we got the same conditions. You still got to go there. You still got to fish. Most of the time, you're not going to end up scoring probably. But it's that consistent grind and your knowledge of your area. I know my area good. The Hudson River, people say to me, I bring them, and I know people that are fishermen today because of me. I don't want to brag about it, but I am bragging about it. They're fishermen because of me. Look at my wife. I'm going to knock you out, throw you off the roof. Anyway, but what I want to say is that I bring people fishing, and I like to see, I don't want to see me catch the fish. I want to see them catch the fish, and it's really, really a great, great feeling. It's the thing about me. Right on. Let's just not pay our mortgage and get these guys a Van Stall reel. That's the way you got to operate in life. Other than that, let's move over to Will really quick right now. Will, I know you work. I know you work really hard. You were in the Poseidon Challenge, the last one. You were one of the plug builders that I had in 100 boxes. There were 100 Will plugs in there. Listen, yeah, he did give me a decent price, but he'll give you the same decent price if you buy 100 plugs off of him. Do you understand? It's not like I'm calling him up and you're like, hey, you gave Poseidon this price. Number one, you shouldn't know because I don't talk my business with anybody. You gotta and number two, you have to understand. Yeah. What was that? I missed that. Say that again.
I'm saying, give you a 6-month heads up next time. It'll be, I'll give you a 6 months.
Yeah, right. It wasn't like, listen, all right, Eric, no problem. I can do that. When's the date you need it by? And I was like, tomorrow? What do you mean tomorrow? It's 100 plugs. When he handed them to me, he looked like a needlefish himself. If he had hooks on him, he would have been. But no, I gave him a very small window. Plus, he was going away on his honeymoon. I know you were doing the Rome thing. I know you had a great time.
Nice.
And I'm glad you had a great time. What a time that must be. There isn't anything better than going on vacation. And I know that's what Greg looks at his fishing ventures like. It's a lot of fun, man, when you're going away and you're saying, hey, man, this is it. That's a lot of fun. These little adventures that I do 2 or 3 day adventures.
Well, that was the Montauk trip for me, too. Doing the Montauk trip, that was a little mini vacation for me. And it was all new territory, all new terrain.
Yeah.
Met some great dudes.
Yeah.
And it was a new challenge, I didn't catch many fish.
Right.
Caught a few.
Okay.
But, I learned a hell of a lot, It was really cool.
Yeah, cool. Listen, I am glad you're at where you're at right now, Will, because it isn't the same old, and I'm going to say it isn't the same old bullshit. you're working right now because you're making a good product. I know who you are. I've been to your shop. I came to your house. I paid you in cash, if you remember. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, you also helped me out. You had me in the box, and I'm proud to advertise 401 plugs. So when somebody opens it, it isn't just your old standard, you know, lure in the package. I don't want to say Chinese product or whatever. These things are made right here in the good old USA by a good old USA person himself, and that's Will of 401 Plugs.
Churchwood is asking, can you ask Will what lathe he prefers for plug making?
Ah, there you go.
Do you have lathe
So,
preference?
I mean, I'd prefer like a Delta, like a $6,000 lathe, but I found some pretty reasonably priced lathes off of Penn State Industries. It's a woodworking company out of Pennsylvania. You can get a decent lathe for like $500, variable speed electronic. So it's not like an old Sears where it's like belt, you know, you got to change the belt for different speeds. It's a variable, you know, electronic variable speed. And it was a step up from what I learned on. And I own 2 of them now, and they're fine. I've used them for 3 years, 4 years.
Wow. So when you say you own 2 of them, so I know that the one that you most recently bought, or whenever it was bought, I don't know when you bought it, it was the upgrade. It was the better lathe, correct?
No, these are both the same.
Ah,
One of them shit out on me right when I was, I think, building your plugs. It turned out it was a fuse.
Wow.
Fixed the fuse, thing was fine. That's why I recommend them now. I'm like, okay, 15-cent fuse, fixed it.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, it is. Right. Just gotta,
Nothing
you know,
costs
you
15 cents. Not even a piece of bazooka bubble gum. You want to get one today, they're 25 cents, those big ones, if you can find them.
Yeah.
Will's old lathe. I got a funny story. That thing was unsafe. It was.
Me and Lance from Wicked School, right? Me
Yeah.
and Lance started making plugs at the same time. He's a great dude. He's a machinist.
Yeah.
This dude was so precise. Taught me a lot about how deep, different things with drill press and stuff like that.
Sure.
But my initial lathe, it was dangerous, man.
I remember one time it was my fault because I'm new to.
I shouldn't even let him use it.
Only know plug building from Will. But Will was behind me doing something, and I was using the lathe, and the piece of wood shot out.
It's dangerous, right?
And hit like right above Will's head like a bullet.
No. Scary.
And I was like, I think I'm good with this thing.
Well, just imagine if it wasn't you and it was me that thing would have shot out. I would have been like, it would have been yelling up at his wife. No, I'm pretty sure he's dead. He's stiff. He's totally stiff.
Now me, Lance, and Greg used to have some good times in my old garage. We'll put it that way.
Sure.
We used to get
And
down,
and I know you'll admit with me, Will, he's a freaking artist. The way he does.
He is, man. His paint is like, it's out of this world, man. His paint, he's very. So I don't really spend too much time on paint. I make it fine, right?
Right.
In my opinion, fish don't really give a shit or give a care.
Right.
What the paint job is, you're painting it for the fishermen.
Yes.
They'll fish light, dark. Right. Light, dark, lateral line. That's what I care about.
I have.
Lance, man. He does some cool stuff.
His lures catch fish too.
But...
He makes like a 10-inch dock.
Yeah.
And
he makes some good stuff. Yeah.
That thing was hammering big fish.
I have one that his daughter made that she just she painted. I have that one. I don't use that one. I like stuff like that to me says that, oh, look, he got his daughter, and I have the lure. It was just lures that I like to save, just like I do with you, buddy.
Yeah,
the 401 symbol, and right there, you saw what I liked, and you saw the jacket I had on, so,
Of course.
It's all good.
Lance just cut from the same cloth,
It's all good, buddy. So... anything else as we finish off this show slowly? I know you said, and I would never push you or anything, but you had mentioned yourself that you have a giveaway for tonight for the viewers.
Will.
Oh, pick a plug, Greg.
Well, I guess we could do whatever viewer wins, they pick. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
they can pick.
I'll
show you the styles.
I'll tell you what. You put them up one at a time.
Yeah.
And you can do the thing right now.
Yeah, so this plug, I kind of helped Will make
so this is
concept.
Yeah, Greg Taylor Pikey. This plug is so versatile.
Yeah.
That it can swim, a foot under the surface. You can get this plug down to 10 feet.
Yeah, and it bangs. What I really like about this plug is you can feel it.
Yeah.
When it's really working right.
So we dressed it with a zinger tail, a zinger rat tail.
Oh,
right?
nice.
So it gets down to about 4 feet. You take the rat tail off, put a single hook. It'll get down to 10 feet, man. I mean, it's a banger.
So we'll do this one.
I love double jointed,
man.
man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure. That's
I love that. That give it a nice little run. And when you guys were saying, so you can run that plug, that first one you showed, Greg, you can run it a couple of feet, meaning a foot or two under the threshold of the top, or you can go a little deeper, somewhere in 10 feet. So how would you go and get it at 10 feet? Do you just let it drop and then you start the reel? How do you get there?
So this I fish mainly in deeper water. So it's 6 to 8 foot or deeper. Nice. And what I like to do is cast it out. I usually have the line tie bent up if I want it to get really deep.
Charlie used to do that. Charlie did that.
Yeah. So then after I cast it out, I'll burn it down fast to wherever I want it, right? And then I'll just stop it and let it work by itself. And oftentimes when it's at the depth and I stop it right then, that's when I'll get it.
It's always on the
right when I slow
always
down.
on the drop, man.
But then once I get it to the depth I want, I almost want to do as little as possible. If I have current, that'll keep it doing it by itself. Yeah. That's the best way to work a metal lip, in my opinion. But yeah, this plug's awesome.
I believed in that method because over the years that I've been going to the rivers up in Connecticut, I have to tell you that there is no way in heck that you're fishing in those, because I'm talking about winter fishing. You basically know what I'm talking about, both you guys. And, the fish are so lethargic that you cannot fish like that. Basically, sometimes you have a nice little current, and you can get it almost to the point of where you're just barely turning that reel. And that takes precision, guys. It's not easy to go from a regular fly fishing guy or a spinning rod that you're constantly reeling in at a nice little speed. It isn't like that with stripers, man. It's nice and slow, nice and smooth, and every once in a while you want to jerk it a little, you do, but especially what Greg is talking about, just leaving it and sometimes almost letting the current do its job. But if you're at that distance that you want, you don't want a current that's just going to lift your lure to the top because you're too light and it's just fluttering on top of the water. Then you're not doing what you want. So I don't know if you want to add to that, Greg. I only tell people the basics. I'm never one to tell people everything, even though I know everything. No, I don't. I don't know everything.
Well, what I will say is I'm a big advocate for fishing slow.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll get out there and I'm not having too much luck, and I realize I might be fishing a little too fast. And something somebody told me years ago is if you feel like you're fishing too fast, reel as slow as you can and then double it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if I'm not catching, I'll just I'll do the same exact plug, just slow it down a little bit more, and then the bite changes from night to day. Just Bill, and then you're catching all night long.
And there you go. That you're right about what you're saying, and I believe in you, Greg, because, and I'm not saying Bill Wetzel knows everything in the world, but he is a very, very knowledgeable surf fishing guide. And Bill always told me, he would see me fishing back in the day, and he would see me and say, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Slower." And he would watch me and he'd go, "Eric, slower, slower, slower." And then he said, "You know what? When you think you're reeling slow, roll even slower." So it was him that pushed it. And it takes a little muscle memory, what they call, to have that touch, because it's tough to go from like this to all of a sudden you're thinking that, what am I doing? Is this going to work? You're fishing for striped bass. It's going to work, because I've always believed in that method too. Slow, and that comes from Bill Wetzel. And I'm not saying every lure that he uses is slow. You have different areas for different lures, different currents, jetties, inlets, all types of different areas to make that you have to come up with the answer and know, hey, that plug or that bucktail is going to be good for this area at this weight. So that's up to you. That's the easiest part. The hardest part is catching the fish.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, guys. Anything else you want to add on before we slowly shove off? Because you guys are very knowledgeable, both of you. I appreciate you being on my show, Mr. Poseidon. Mr. Poseidon's live stream weekly, 7 o'clock in the evenings. Thank you so much to both of you. But anything else you guys want to finish this off with? Any goodbyes to anybody?
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, I'd say definitely come to the Narragansett show.
Yeah.
Come on by, pack it out. There'll be some chowder, hot dogs.
Good
8
stuff.
to 2, Narragansett, 53 Mumford Road. Lots of great builders, lots of great vendors.
Thank
and
you,
a
guys.
crazy antique plug collection that you'll never see anywhere
I know.
else.
I can't wait, man.
Oh,
that
look,
guy.
Brian Testa came on. Says, Will South County Swimmer is arguably one of the best plugs that can be fished in the surf. If you don't have a South County Swimmer in your bag, get one ASAP.
There you go.
I made some for your.
He ain't lying either.
Nice.
It's a small profile plug. Again, it's real versatile. I'd say can go anywhere from like 3 to 6 foot. For some reason, big fish chew this little plug.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what we learned with like fly fishing. You match the hatch. A lot of our bait in Rhode Island's like 1 inch to 4 inch.
That's right.
And,
That's a staple. There's always one of these in my bag.
That's right. And
Always.
it's Will. You said that wrong. It's not match the hatch. It's match the batch.
Nice.
That's what we like to say around. Match the batch, buddy.
He's
A
so
lot
silly.
of good batch out there.
Hey,
Anyway,
listen, so a couple of guys were asking, the winner is going to get drawn from which comments? From Instagram or YouTube? Usually we would put it out with a little announcement,
yeah.
which we did
I'll
not
tell
do
you-
this time. But since
I'll tell you
mostly
what, Will.
everyone was at the big Christmas
Okay.
uh,
Okay. Yeah. The
comments,
giveaway.
that giveaway, then we'll take the comments from there because a lot of people, mostly everyone,
All right.
put a comment in there. So that's where
So
we'll pull
if you're
it
in
from.
there, you're in it, and you should be in there. If not, to have respect, we'll give you 5 minutes. In the meantime, we'll hear about our goodbyes now to the guys. But, other than that,
So then the winner who's drawn will get to pick one of those
yeah, you got
plugs
5 minutes, and
that
then
the
I'm
guys
doing
were
the drawing.
showing. All
right,
right.
there you go.
So let's see here. I'll set it up in the meantime.
Yeah. So Greg and Will, once again, thank you for coming on to the show. I appreciate you guys. I want to have you guys on as much as possible. Always call you guys again. I know, Will, you're always coming out with some new product, but that South County Swimmer you were talking about, everybody should have one of those because I have mine. It's in yellow. I love it. I use it. I catch fish with it. Okay. So I haven't caught my 35-pounder with it yet, but it's coming. This year, I ain't freaking around, man. This year's going to be the year for me. I'm going to be ready full force in April when these fish start kicking here in the Hudson. Maybe you guys want to take a trip up, man. You can lounge at my house if you guys don't mind sleeping in the same bed and just I'll
No,
give
I
you
don't.
separate sheets, No, I'm kidding. I'm
God.
kidding.
He prefers it.
Yeah, there you go. But, we'll hear some more good stories. And I'd love to have you guys up there. I'll bring the YouTube stuff and get some good stories out of you guys. I'll bring you up by Bear Mountain. Beautiful. You could see Bear Mountain Bridge over there where I fish, right next to the train tracks, which is lots of fun. As long as you're not on them when the train goes by. But other than that. Okay.
Hudson
So
Valley era.
tell me, honey, anything
Okay.
else?
All right, that's it. So we'll do a little countdown. We'll run this.
All right, so guys, we're gonna run this right now. If you're in that
We're in
Christmas
the big
giveaway,
Christmas Eve comments.
we're gonna have to roll this thing like 10 times now because everybody's not on tonight.
No, everybody's
All right.
on.
Everybody's on. So we take donations, guys, on our show. Any amount of money you want to give in, I don't care if it's $1 or $2. As you can see, we have our members here also with the little stars. All these guys have been with me since the start. Just wonderful cats and great, great fishermen. We are the fishing champs of the Guggen world, period. I don't care what anybody says. We are, man.
Fishing
No doubt about it.
champs. All right.
All right, so let's spin it, honey. On
here
3.
we go. You want to put your glasses?
I want to see. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, on 3.
And a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
And the winner
is Ghost Fish Killer.
Ghost Fish Killer.
You're in the house.
Are you in the house, Ghost Fish Killer?
You better be here.
You better be here. Ghost Fish.
Ghost Fish Killer. That is Sal. Hello. You gonna do the little countdown?
Okay, we'll start the countdown. So we do a countdown here. It's 10.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, Michael, so nice. 10, 9, 8.
Didn't I see Ghost Fish Killer before?
6, 8, 7,
You're gonna
4.
miss out.
No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna miss out. Where are you, Ghost? 6, 5.
His
5
phone probably just
seconds.
died.
Jesus Christ.
I know,
what are
he
you
was
doing?
just
You're gonna
there.
miss. 4.
He had to go. Brian's like, he left. He had to go smoke up. Oh, man.
3.
Are you really going to do this to me?
2. Oh, come on, man. I mean, come on. What are you doing? Hey.
Sal, I was going to.
Sal, don't give me that bullshit. Sal, I got to get off the Marlboros, bro. Come on, man. What are you doing? No, I'm just kidding, Sal. Congratulations, Sal. You win that beautiful plug that the boys were showing up. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Delco Joe.
Thank you,
Has his
Joe.
own fishing store, everything you want to get.
You can either get a South County or GT Pikey, whatever he wants.
All right, there you go. So you're going to make that pick right now. What do you want? Say that again, guys. Show it up.
Okay, I got it on.
Redhead or the South County swimmer?
There you go. Redhead or yellowhead, Sal. You let him know, and we'll get that. He says, I had an ad come up.
Oh, sorry, Sal.
Just send me his address.
Yeah. We'll send you the address. Listen, also.
I'll get it mailed out to him. Yeah.
Also, hold on. I got a few things here.
Uh-oh. More prizes.
Sal, also, you being the winner tonight, anybody else would have been the winner tonight. I got a cap for you, an MSC cap, and a little cap you can wear through the cold weather. And for the guys that were on my show tonight, 2 Montauk caps, both the MSC on the side. And
Sweet. Nice, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mr. Poseidon, I'll send that right back to you.
We'll see you next Saturday.
See you on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll bring it with me.
You forgot.
It's a beautiful thing, man. This is what happens when you turn like 90, you know? Gonna be 92 in a few weeks. Getting there. You know, I'm so scared of that, guys. The most thing that I tell all the young guys fishing out there, God bless you, man. Stay with it. Stay strong. Do all the grinding now, because later, even though you're out there and you're doing it, it takes a real grind to do that at an older age, and it isn't all the best sometimes. So just always be safe. Do the grind. It's great. Know your area. You know, listen to guys like what they talked about tonight, Will and Greg fishing, especially on the big fish. One more question. I got to do this.
What?
Greg, when you go out hunting for the big fish, what is your number one thing that you attribute to and say, hey, that's what I got to look for first? What's that number one tip you want to give somebody?
That's a good question. Well, but I'll give you a couple cheat codes, I like to call them.
Okay.
So you say you use Google Earth or whatever it may be, and you're looking along a coastline, right? Looking for a new place to fish. One thing that I've realized is that if you can look along a coastline on Google Earth and actually see white water where there's not white water around it, that means that spot there's something there that there's a reason why those waves break there always, which also means that's probably a really good spot to go fishing. Mm-hmm. So like if you're looking along a coastline and you see white water on Google Earth, it's worth a shot. So that's one tip I'll give you. Another tip they use down in Jersey a lot is there's these surf cams at all of these breaks, right? And they're live streamed now, you know, so you can see the spot live. And, you know, in the spring, summer, when there's bait around, sometimes blitzes or birds, you can check the surf cams at these spots. And I've turned them on and I've seen birds and boats gone there and then hooked up, you know? So those are 2 little cheats that I can share with you guys.
Yep. I was going to also say here, I was looking at some of the comments, you know, the South County swimmer, good stuff. You know, Greg, I'll always follow you. I know we haven't been fishing together. Maybe one day we'll definitely grab a line together, but not so much I'm going fishing with Greg. I'm going to catch a big fish. It's going to take a lot more than just going fishing with somebody one time to catch that big fish, because the odds are you're not. If you do, again, fish of a lifetime. God bless you. Especially if you caught one bigger than Greg ever did. He's probably going to kill you, take the fish, take the pictures, and say, I never saw Mr. Poseidon in my life. But other than that, I'm just trying to explain to everybody, it isn't just, hey, I'm going out and I'm catching the big fish that night. It takes a lot of work and a lot of skill. Skill is something that we should always never act like we always have, that we know everything. It's not. The more skill you get is the more you can listen to other people talk about how they fish for their striped bass. That's the skill, to be open to those other possibilities and not always to the same one. Like I fished for 30 years in Field 6 in Jones Beach. 30 years. 30 years I was saying, yeah, I'm going to go to Montauk. So finally, it happened 35 years later, and I started fishing in Montauk, and that was 17 years ago. Yes, I was there as a kid with my dad, and we fished, but officially by myself, it was only, now it's going on the 18th year where I'm fishing in Montauk, and I picked up a lot there. I'm not saying I know the area. Definitely don't know that area. That's a huge area, but I know the basics and what I have to look for in order to get myself on the fish. Maybe not the biggest fish, but on the fish. So, guys, once again, I thank you to both of you. Very knowledgeable fishermen. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see both of you at the show. We'll get you on the live a little bit over there also. Talk about your product, Will. I'll be showing that off. And, Greg, maybe some more tips on how to catch a big fish, Greg. God bless you. Congratulations on that tournament,
guys.
Will. And this was all possible, again, by the Narragansett team there. That's the Narragansett Surfcasters Club up in Narragansett. And that's Bruce Bain. Sorry to hear you went down. We could have used you on the show tonight. Not could have used you, but we could. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have you on, Bruce. I know you weren't doing that good. But and to Charlie, who we spoke about, rest in peace, Charlie. You'll never be forgotten. And thank you to everybody else who came on tonight. I'm super stoked. We had a great show tonight. Hope you guys got a little bit of knowledge out of that if you listen carefully. Other than that, hon, you want to say anything?
That's it. Sal picked the red one. So we'll send you his address.
Yeah, there you go, the red one. I love red, too.
Let's see.
He's going to be... I'll pack it up.
He's actually going to be at the show this weekend.
Oh, there you go. He'll be at the show this weekend.
I'll put it in the
yeah.
Perfect.
Just hopefully, Will, you're not going to do what you did to me. Oh, man, I just sold that one. I'm sorry.
No, he's not. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
guys. Greg, I appreciate you. Thank you, Will, also, man. Big time.
Tight lines, guys.
Thank you. See you Saturday, guys. Yeah, boys. All right, so I want to say some hellos also. Whoa.